What's going on, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Ask Mish. What a winter, guys. What a winter. I None of us signed up to live in Alaska, I'm fairly certain, but here we are, just collectively in Alaska. Oh my God. I've never been more motivated to move to Miami in my life. You guys know, if you guys follow my journey, you know I've been trying to manifest a Miami apartment, and this winter might be the nail in the coffin. Anywho, I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. I'm in New York. It is where I've never seen weather like this before. It's just depressing too. But I think sometimes when people deal with hardships like weather, it creates the opposite reaction. So everyone online has been saying that because it's 2026, that this is going to be the summer of 2016. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you weren't there, if you didn't clock it, it was well documented as this collectively amazing summer that everyone had. I had the best summer of 2016. Everyone I know who I didn't even know at the time said they had the best summer then. It was magical. The Chainsmokers were the soundtrack. It was a magical time. And if this kind of terrible winter is gearing up where everyone just has this amazing feral summer, then I'm here for it. So I am team summer of 2016. But until then, let's stay warm and just keep visions of chain smokers dancing in our heads. All right, let's get into it. If you guys have a question, BT Dubs, go on Instagram at mish_mindset. I'll link it in the show notes and let me know what you got. You could either check my stories because I often have a little sticker there where you can ask me whatever you'd like, or you can slide into my DMs and I will do it there. But if you're like, girl, I need some help struggling with your relationships, if you're struggling with yourself, if you're struggling with your mindset, if you're struggling with your job, whatever your struggles are, lay them on me. Let me see what I got. I'm here to help. And I will answer your question either in my stories or on the podcast. All right, let's get into this week's question. Dear Mish, I'm in my early 30s and I feel like I'm never going to reach my full potential. It's frustrating because I know what I should be doing. I've read all the books, I've listened to all the podcasts, I know I should be journaling or meditating or going to the gym, all the things. When it comes down to actually doing it, I just end up scrolling on TikTok and convince myself tomorrow will be the day. I'm beyond frustrated with myself, but I don't know how to break out of this loop. I'm not even sure what I'm saying is making any sense. I hope it is, and I also hope you can help me. Let me know what you think. Okay, so what you're saying makes a lot of sense to me. And it's the time of year that I think people are going to feel exactly what you're feeling the most because February to me is a Tuesday. Follow me on this. This is how I think. Okay, so Monday is January, right? Monday, it's like, it's a Monday, but there's still this kind of like renewed energy. Tuesday, it's like, okay, renewed, refreshed energy is gone. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. We're just like in it. And that's February. That's what we're in right now. Just to continue the analogy so you understand what I'm saying, Wednesday is like March. It sounds like spring, but it's not. But it's like, all right, hump day, light at the end of the tunnel a little bit. April, Thursday, okay, clear light at the end of the tunnel. May is Friday. That makes so much sense to me, hopefully to you too. And then June is Saturday, July is Sunday fun day. Like that makes so much sense to me. So we're in February. We're in Tuesday. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. So I think it is the time of year that people are going to feel like the most blah about just their goals and where they're at in life. And it's harder to make progress with things. So I think what you're expressing is something that people feel all the time, but I feel like it's going to be heightened now just because it's Tuesday, aka February. So here's the thing about goals. They're weird, right? They're weird because it should be easy. We want something, here's the roadmap to achieving that thing. But then for some reason, it seems hard to do those things, or we come up with reasons as to why. And there is a small population of the world. I don't actually know how small it is, but I know I'm not one of them. So I'm going to say it's small, of just these disciplined type A people that are just told what to do and they do it without any sort of mental disarray and they just live their lives. And then we look at them and then we feel bad because we're like, well, why can't we be like that? The answer is because we're dealing with goals at the wrong level. And understanding goals in this way will be life changing for your ability to accomplish them, but in a way where there's no willpower or discipline involved. So when we first start a goal, we get an idea in our head. We're like, all right, like let's say right now, you're like, all right, I want to be hot for summer. All right, summer's coming, I'm going to be hot. Your brain gets very excited by the idea of transformation. It's the Monday step. It's step Monday. Now, that excitement is going to trigger dopamine, and dopamine is a prediction channel. Your brain's like, oh my God, we're going to be hot, we're going to be successful, we're going to find the boyfriend we want, we're going to be this totally different human being by July. You're like, okay, so I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to eat better and I'm going to be more confident. I'm going to talk to people more and I'm going to do all of those things. But then the feelings that are associated with doing that in the current identity that you're in are probably terrifying, because if they weren't, you would do it. So then you go to the gym, but you're like, oh, this kind of sucks. I don't really like it. It's taking up time. Or then you go on the dating apps and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to like deal with this. I don't want to, what if these guys don't like me? What if they're going to reject me? Or you like go to, your company and you're like, all right, we're going to make more money this year. And you're on that call with your team, but you're kind of feeling like you're self-doubt, you're questioning yourself. You have this idea of this future self in mind, but right now the actions that you have to take to get there don't feel so great. They make you feel tired, they make you feel insecure, they make you feel overwhelmed. And then your brain's like, this doesn't feel safe. And then this wash of like, well, maybe not today, maybe on Monday, maybe next month, maybe when things are a little bit calmer, maybe this, but maybe that. You get that like reset. And reset it's kind of like escapism, but it's sort of dressed up as ambition, because you're like, I'm going to do this thing, but now is just not the right time. And your brain will accept that. It will make sense. So you want to change, but you just don't believe that you can do it. The problem is that every time you say, I'm going to start Monday, or I'm going to start in January, or I'm going to do it this time, I swear, and then you don't, what you're doing is you're teaching your brain that it can't trust you. You're teaching your brain that you're not credible. Your subconscious will stop believing you. So every broken promise to yourself becomes evidence that you're the kind of person that doesn't follow through. I think Ed Milet said that self-confidence is the art or the act of keeping promises to yourself. So by this time of year, like, you're not just like unmotivated, you're ashamed because you've tried and you've delayed it and you kick the can, you're like, well, I want this thing, but I can't get this thing. What is wrong with me? And now on top of that, you taught your brain, you taught your nervous system, I can't trust you. Whenever you say something, you don't follow through with it. So now there's shame on top of it. So that's the situation that a lot of people find them in when they're trying to create change or achieve goals for themselves. So here's the unlock. This is what's worked for myself. This is what's worked for my clients. This is the way that you want to start thinking about it. You're not going to ever rise to your goals. You're going to fall to your identity. You don't have a willpower problem, a discipline problem, a habit problem. You have an identity problem. You're not the kind of person yet who just enjoys going to the gym. You're not the kind of person that thinks so highly of themselves that they would only accept certain people in a relationships or certain behaviors in relationships. You're not the kind of person that can go confidently into the meeting and trust themselves that they're making the right decisions and go about their day. So how do we look at this equation? So let's work backwards with it. Let's start with the results that you want. So you either want to be more ambitious, you want to have more money, you want to be hotter, you want to be more confident, whatever it is. Let's identify the results. Then let's take it a step further. What are the habits of people that you know, or maybe don't know, or can imagine, that have those things? So they don't overthink, they don't really struggle with anxiety, they go to the gym, they eat better, they save money. Okay, what is the emotional, I call it emotional template. What is the emotion that you feel when you start thinking about doing those things? When you think about going to the gym, when you think about going on the dating apps, when you think about going on a date with somebody, when you think about the idea of saving money, when you think about the idea of sitting down with your team, when you think about the idea of starting your business, when you think about the idea of raising your prices, what is the emotion that you feel? And if it's a negative emotion, that's the problem. We need to kind of turn that into something that's positive. Because think about it this way, anxiety and excitement are essentially the same emotion. One's just through a positive lens and one's with a negative lens. One is like, oh my God, what could possibly happen? And one is like, oh my God, what could possibly happen? Right? One's through positive, one's through negative. So what is it that shapes your emotions around these things? Those are your beliefs. Now, beliefs are not facts, but they will feel like facts. And they're the ones kind of running the show here. And your beliefs are going to be based on your experiences. Sometimes your experience when you were really young. They're going to be based on these kind of unconscious rules that maybe you made for yourself. Maybe they make sense, maybe they don't. When I would work with people for nutrition, they'd say, I believe that I need to eat perfectly in order to lose weight. Now, when they said that out loud, they're like, all right, that doesn't even make sense when I say it out loud. I know that's probably not true, but like that was the belief that they were running in the background. And that made it feel like every time that they eat something they shouldn't have, quote unquote, that they were screwing up. So that made them quit. If I'm working with an entrepreneur and they're like, well, I need to make sure that I'm doing everything because nobody else is going to do it as good as me. Well, that's a belief that they have. They believe that nobody else is going to do anything as good as them. So they're going to be the ones that do everything, and then they're not going to be able to scale. And delegating is going to feel really scary and really bad to them. So your belief system is what is making up how you feel, which is creating your actions, and that's creating the results that you want. But when you're dealing with it at these levels, these foundational levels, it's so much more permanent because you're changing who you are as a person rather than just trying to force an action that doesn't feel good to you or your nervous system. Now, one of the beliefs that you very well may have is, well, I'm just not the kind of person that follows through. Like, I know I'll start it, whatever, but I always give up. I always stop at some point. I'm always just like waiting for the other shoe to drop. So then what happens is you just have this belief running in the background of, yeah, like I'm going to do this for a little while, but then I'm going to stop. And then guess what happens? You stop eventually. So here's what I want you to do. Instead of making these big grandiose plans, making these big grandiose changes, and just trying to force the action without changing your identity, what I want you to do is I want you to start really small, and I want you to make promises around it that you can keep. And then I want you to be really excited and happy for yourself that you did it. Because what you're doing now is now you're starting to teach your brain, oh my gosh, like, no, I am capable. No, this does feel good. No, I can do this. If it's something that you're doing and you're like, all right, I can do it, but I just don't enjoy it, find a way to make yourself enjoy it. I've talked about this a lot with my exercise journey. I started because I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to a really sick playlist at the gym. I'm going to watch my TV show while I'm at the gym. And like I started doing it that way. And then I started going more and more. And then all of a sudden I had so much confidence in myself around my ability to go to the gym, and I liked it. Start with small things that you can definitely do. You can definitely keep. It's just building proof. It's building evidence that you can do it. That's going to start to increase your confidence, aka your belief system around it. That's what's going to start to change your actions. And that's ultimately what's going to change your identity and get you the result that you want. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're beating yourself up because you're not doing this and you're not doing that and you're kind of in the same cycle, instead of getting mad at yourself, look at that as a signal. It's a signal that something about it doesn't feel good to you. Is it your ability to execute it? Is it doing the thing itself? Is it based off of your beliefs because of your past experiences around it? And if that's the case, okay, can we question those? Like, is it possible to have a different outcome? Just because I've been cheated on once or twice, does that mean I'm going to get cheated on in the next relationship? No. But if I'm subconsciously going into the next relationship that way, it's going to seep out. So that's why it's so important when you're trying to make a true transformation yourself. And this is the joy that I love doing this for people. It's creating the identity that matches the life that you want. If you do it any other way, it doesn't work, it doesn't stick, it keeps you frustrated, and it keeps you stuck. And if this is something where you're like, all right, this makes sense, but I'm trying it on my own and I'm really struggling to do it on my own, I'm going to link it in the show notes. You could also find it in the link in my bio on Instagram. It's a 1-hour session with me where we will get to the root cause of whatever your underlying problem is. And I don't know if you've ever been to a physical therapist before, but if you go to a good physical therapist, they'll be like, oh, your elbow hurts you because of your knee. And you're like, what? How is that possible? Your brain is designed to keep you safe. And when we get to the root problem of why your brain is wired the way that it is, due to childhood, due to past experience, whatever it is, but when you understand why it's doing what it's doing, and then you discover the power of rewiring it, it makes all of this so easy. It makes integrating the stuff that you learned in therapy so much simpler, whatever it is. So if there's something you struggle with, click the link, sign up for that session. You'll get so much out of it. You'll understand the root cause of why you do the things you do, and you'll understand the path to rewire. So you can do that if that's something you need a little extra help with. So I will check you guys out next week. If you enjoy this episode, send it to a friend, send it to somebody that you care about. Hopefully it helps them. My goal is to help as many people as I can become the people that they want to be. Also, say hi to me on Instagram at mish_mindset. Give me some content for next week. Give me your problems. Tell me what's going on. Give me something juicy goosey so we can have a great episode next week. And I will see you guys then.